I do have with me a fan favorite of Flashpoint, Dr. Simone Gold from America's Frontline Doctors. Hello, Dr. Gold. Good to have you with us tonight.
It's so great to be back with you, Gene. Thank you.
All right, so tell me about, first off, I want to hear about this new book. Tell us about this new book.
Oh, yeah. So, I've been through a lot the last 4 years. I think most of your fans and clubs know that I started blowing the whistle on all the COVID propaganda and disinformation, and I became a dissident doctor, according to the government, and they had a target on me. So I endured a lot of the last 4 years. I spoke out against the state medical boards. I spoke out against the lack of early treatment. I spoke out against governors' policies that were killing nursing home patients. And finally, I was present on the Capitol grounds on January 6th. And because of all that, I endured a lot of persecution from the government. And so I used my story, my J6 story, to explain how we've got a lot of fascism, like the infrastructure fascism is already present here in America. I don't know if you know this, Gene, I was arrested in a very violent FBI SWAT team raid with 20 officers with huge weapons that broke down my door with battering rams. I was endured the legal system for a year and a half. The judge hated me. The judge threw me in jail. I should say prison. It was a maximum security. And of course, all of my COVID propaganda that I revealed, and I was targeted by the government heavily. So what I did is I made lemonade out of lemons, right? I turned this into really an educational experience. Every chapter is something different from my J6 story. What was it like to be arrested? You're a mom, doctor, lawyer, and I'm arrested in a violent FBI raid. That's a chapter. What was I doing on the Capitol on January 6th? That's a chapter. What's prison like? That's, 2 chapters actually. And, and all the battles I've gone through. So it's Selective Persecution. It was just released. You can find it on Amazon. I hope you read it. And by the way, if you're curious about Fauci and like everything he did and how he tried to destroy the country and our way of life, I've got chapter 6 for you, is all the COVID lies.
So, Dr. Gold, I want to get your opinion, and I know I'm going to put you on the spot here. RFK Jr., are you happy with this? Are you happy with this appointment?
I want to stand up strongly for Kennedy. I know that there's people on the Maha side that are, saying little naysaying things here and there. It is incredibly difficult to change these policies. I've said for years that Big Pharma runs the federal government, not the other way around. Okay, he has absolutely made changes, and they have to be made in the way he's doing them. He's, as you know, replaced kind of the cabal that was in charge of putting vaccines out, and he also put the American people's attention on the coercive nature of vaccines. Vaccines should be available if a person wants them. They can decide based on actual informed consent. If you got actual informed consent, you probably would not take the shots. But I don't think you should pull them off the market. I think you should have informed consent and no coercion. So he's doing these things. So people need to just understand it's very difficult to go up against Big Pharma. And I'm actually very happy with what he's done.
Well, let me show you this video of what he just did with the CDC. Watch this.
A massive change by Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. removing all members of the CDC's Vaccine Advisory Committee, which makes recommendations on the safety and efficacy of vaccines. Members getting a notice saying this email serves as formal notice of your immediate termination. Kennedy releasing a statement saying, "Today we are prioritizing the restoration of public trust above any specific pro or anti-vaccine agenda." Kennedy argues a clean sweep is needed to restore public trust, claiming the committee had conflicts of interest, adding the Biden administration appointed all 17 current members, with 13 of them last year. But critics have called this change dangerous and partisan.
All right, so Dr. Gold, tell me, the CDC, I think Americans pre-COVID had an idea. I mean, we all just kind of took the CDC's word as being, oh, well, if they say it's bad, it's bad. Or if they say it's good, it's good. Americans no longer feel that way. And this clean sweep, what does that say to the medical community?
Listen, I was a medical insider for more than 25 years. My dad was a doctor, and then I was a doctor in med school residency for 25 years. I know the system inside and out. I never questioned vaccines in my career until COVID came along. I have learned so much. It's the research and the science is not there to support vaccines the way it is for other drugs, right? They're not being compared to randomized, controlled placebo-controlled, right? That's item number one. Item number two, is this disease worthy of taking a medication to prevent it? Like, how serious is it? Do we want to do that? We saw a lot of things that were revealed during COVID. In terms of the vaccine schedule, Kennedy has reminded the American public that now you need to take almost 100 shots to get through from 0 to 18 to get through the public school system. And some states, it doesn't matter if you're in public school or private school. So we are just righting the ship. It's the opposite of dangerous. It's prudent. It's wise. It's been reckless for about 30 years.
Why do you think we haven't seen anything happen with Fauci? I mean, he just kind of like, it looks to the American people, he got away with everything.
I just want to remind people, I seem to be pretty good at prognosticating. Everybody asked me for years if I thought he was going to be held to account. I said, no, he's not going to be held to account. That's why it's good to believe in God, because this world is not the final, it's not the final arbitrator. I don't think he's going to be held to account. I'm sorry, I'm pessimistic about our ability to hold bad people hostage, accountable. Let me share with you chapter 6, which is the COVID chapter in my book. You will not believe what I reveal about Fauci, what he's done, how he's done, all the receipts. It's astonishing. You have no idea that the scam he pulled with COVID was exactly the scam he had pulled with AIDS. It's shocking.
Wow. Okay. Well, there's bait to get you to go buy the book.
Yeah.
Let me bring in Lance Wallnau, I see is here. Lance, you've been listening to Dr. Simone Gold talk about what's happened with Fauci. Well, I think American people, Biden did this whole pardon, and it seemed like he did get away with it. And we know that in the big picture, like Dr. Gold was saying, you don't get away with anything. God's going to take care of this. But I believe the American people are getting frustrated with these guys that pardon each other, pat each other on the back here. You go over here, I'll go over here. What do you make of this with Anthony Fauci, Lance?
Well, I had an interesting experience with this yesterday. I went through AI and I prosecuted Fauci on the Grok AI system, and it gave up. And it's interesting how the programming is. It says that there's no technical proof whatsoever that Fauci was responsible for a bioweapon. The gain of function accusation actually it doesn't fall into the category of what he was doing when he was doing the Echo Labs research over there in Wuhan. And it's kind of frustrating when you think about it, because AI is programmed to give you the detailed argument that he is innocent.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I believe, well, we're just going to have to keep praying about this. I don't think you're being negative or pessimistic, Dr. Gold, because I think we do have to understand that. And I agree with you. With the way things are, it does not seem to be that way. However, with RFK's move with the CDC, I do believe that sends a strong message. Dr. Gold, you agreed with that. You think it sends a strong message to the establishment of the medical community. What do we need to see next? Now, before I get into ivermectin and all that, I want to talk about at the upper level, what is it that needs to change to bring the medical community in line? Is it the health insurance people that are just driving all of this?
Very much so. The bottom line is that patients and doctors are not having a direct one-to-one relationship anymore. When the doctor is paid directly by the patient, the doctor prioritizes the patient. It's that simple. There were so many doctors during COVID that did not prioritize the patient. And part of the reason, a big part, was they were employees themselves of the government or a big corporate entity that blocked them from putting the patient first. So you have to actually remove the in-between payer. That's critical. Now, Kennedy can't do this unilaterally, nor should he. We have a lot of government managed care programs, et cetera. But the free market needs to be part of the solution. If you want to have a free market solution where you'll have better options, that is something he is already made steps towards promoting. Apparently in the big, beautiful bill, he's putting $75 in for everybody to kind of go to the doctor that they want to go. I haven't read it yet, but that's a step in the right direction. Let the doctor and the patient have an undisturbed relationship.
Well, and I think most of us thought that we already had that, but you're right. All right, let me show you. This is something you posted on X. Breaking: Louisiana's legislature just approved SB 19, clearing the way for pharmacists to dispense ivermectin over the counter. once Governor Landry signs, Louisiana will officially be the fourth state to embrace medical freedom, a major win for patients and physicians. And let me show you this from NBC News. As ivermectin goes over the counter, some pharmacists worry about a lack of guidance. And there's the map of where it is available. In the green is where it is passed. The yellow is where the legislation's introduced. You know, here's my question to you, Dr. Gold. Why is this such a big pushback on ivermectin? Because they're not making money is the only reason I can come up with. They're not making money off of this. And, you know, it's working. I'm hearing about cases. I mean, tell us, it is a great drug. Or are we buying into too much hype about it?
No. It's not only because it's inexpensive, they're not making profit. It's because it seems to have tremendously broad utility that threatens other treatments, especially oncology treatments. I want to blow your mind a little bit about how medicine should be practiced in the future. And you've heard it first here on Gene Bailey Flashpoint in 2025. Medicine in the future, doctors in the future are going to be giving advice the way accountants and lawyers give advice. And the prescribing will be a separate category. That's the way it has to go. And the more drugs we can make over the counter, the better it will serve the patient. So I am a huge fan of making all safe drugs over the counter, much like they are across the world. And we're going to win this one on ivermectin. It's got a lot of potential utility, Gene.
It does. So somebody said something to me the other day. Well, you got to be careful with that ivermectin because you can do an ivermectin overdose.
You need a smart No, not exactly. Well, with anything, listen, you take too much vodka, it's an overdose. So yes, but what you need is good advice. That's what I'm saying. In the future, we will be separating the consulting piece from the access piece. And I don't want the government to continue to have a monopoly over the access of safe medications. You can go to any third world countries and buy these things over the counter.
Yes, I know. All right, Lance, so you can relax. You can take your ivermectin, you're going to be okay. Dr. Gold said so.
Well, the truth of the matter is, this is so ironic. So I had a blood work done recently, Gene, and they said it might be that you are troubled by a parasite. I said, parasite, so they prescribed, surprisingly, ivermectin. And then a bonding agent that would work with the ivermectin to eradicate. I said, ivermectin? They said, yeah, this is the safest, most reliable. I said, how long will this be? I thought it was like a month. They said 1 week. And so ivermectin has so much more application than we're aware of. And the fact that they want to limit it just makes me want to stockpile it.
Well, and I think Americans are doing that. I think they absolutely are doing that because they're not buying the lie. Okay.
You can get it, Gene and Lance, you can get it at goldcare.com. You can make an appointment like now, and then we send it to you. Goldcare.com. We want you to have it.
And speaking of goldcare.com, quickly, Dr. Gold, explain all that. We haven't talked about this in a while. What you can get, people that don't have insurance or need to pay for something, what can they get at goldcare.com?
Well, goldcare.com is for everybody. It's $10 a month. It's a subscription. You get unbelievable, unbiased, phenomenal information. We talk about long COVID, COVID shots, spikopathy, ivermectin, cancer, vaccines, everything. We've got it all. And then if you need to see a doctor, we've got national telemedicine doctors in every state. So and by the way, I encourage people to get off health insurance. Okay. Health insurance is kind of the evil person in the room, and we will teach you how to do it. And here's a shock. I have not had health insurance for much more than 10 years, and I can teach you how, and you can save money.
All right. So, and listen, I've talked to Dr. Gold about this before.
Right?
So listen, you guys, this is what everybody watching, if you can swing $10 a month, go do it. I don't care what you're on. Go do this as well and take advantage of what she's offering. I mean, that's amazing, and I think it'd be a great benefit. All right, before I let you go, let me go to this last piece. Dr. Gold, you posted this. America's frontline doctors filed a brief with SCOTUS and Doe's versus Hochul, standing with the brave healthcare workers fired for refusing the COVID shot. We're fighting for medical freedom and informed consent. Give us a better understanding of what this is and what's the update.
This is really every man versus the big man, right? Every man versus, Mr. Big. Okay, these were the ordinary people who lost their jobs because they refused to take the shot. So justice, the wheels of justice, move very slowly. So we're years later. but it's all the way at the Supreme Court now, right? We're supporting the fight against the governor of New York, who is forcing people to take the shot against their will. So it's going to the Supreme Court now. I mean, it's a big deal.
Yeah, absolutely is. All right, we're going to keep following that. The book, again, Selective Persecution, the Legalization of American Fascism by Dr. Simone Gold. You know, how did prison, I'm going to ask you this, I should have asked you this before. How did your time in prison change you? Although I got to admit, before you answer, my favorite shot of you is when you got out with the cornrows and you dropped and you did your push-ups. I'm like, yeah, there you go. That's great.
Oh, yeah.
But back to the question.
Listen, I want to tell you that if anybody is facing this, you have to go in with a plan. I was pretty scared before I went in. And my plan was to interview all the women in prison because I wanted to understand how all these women landed there. So it was a terrible experience. I don't want to minimize it. It was terrible. I was in isolation for a while, which was horrific, should be illegal. And I was put in a maximum because, you know, that makes sense that I should be going to a maximum prison. But I made the most of it. I interviewed the women. The stories of what our government does, the duration of time they keep nonviolent people in prison is horrific. Political conservatives, people of faith should be taking this up. It's so immoral. It's unbelievable. I have a whole chapter in my book about how people land in prison and don't get out and how our government, these women didn't say they were innocent. But when you hear the stories and then you see the duration of time with which they're spending behind bars is a massive disconnect for a moral nation like America.
Amen. All right. Thank you. Go get the book wherever books are sold. Selective Persecution. Dr. Gold, thank you.
Thank you.